Hello and welcome to the PolyTie asset workflow tutorial. Today I'm gonna show you how PolyTie can speed up your production. We used it for our own game and we thought it was quite useful. So I want to share this with you now. So basically what we have here is the level concept our level designer comes up with, and it's fully playable, so you can hit play and you can use the PolyTie debug view to play around with it, see that everything's kind of working, and so you can jump on things and removing platforms and so forth. So what we're gonna do next is we want to make this structure and this collision shapes accessible to our artist. So PolyTie comes with an exporter tool that you find under PolyTie scripts, tools, and it's called layout exporter button. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select our main camera and drag and drop the button on it. You can actually use any camera you've set up, and maybe you want to change certain settings in your camera to make the layout look differently. So what happens once we've done that, if we hit play, then this export layout button shows up. We can click on this export layout button and the PolyTie export layout tool simply creates tile images of our scene. We can access those, we find those tile images under PolyTie layout exports, and I'm going to show this in the Explorer. Here, level import the scene. This is how my scene is called for testing reasons. We find here a layout import XML file as well as the tiles. If you look at them, you see it's the whole level tiled up in screenshots basically. So you don't need Unity Pro for this tool, it just makes use of the screen capture technique without using render to target or anything to keep the whole thing cheap and nice. So what's gonna do now is we are gonna go to Photoshop and we're gonna open this XML file. So what we need to do first is we're gonna have to bring in the plugin scripts you're gonna find in PolyTie Photoshop scripts. So you're gonna open this in the Explorer again and gonna select those two scripts, PolyTie layout importer. This is to import the tile XML file, and the PolyTie Unity exporter we're gonna use later. So what you have to do is you navigate to your Photoshop installation, which is in my case on the programs with double M for no reason, Photoshop, and here you go to presets, scripts, and just simply paste them in, and that's all you need to do to install them. So you go to Photoshop. In Photoshop you go to File, Scripts, and PolyTie layout importer. There you simply go to the path where your PolyTie your project of PolyTie is installed. Go to layout exports, layout import scene, double click the layout importer XML file, and you see the tiles are automatically aligned and put into the Photoshop document, and then they are merged together. So usually what I do as well, I duplicate the background layer and I get rid of the black color and make it transparent by going to select color range, click on the black color, click OK, hit delete. So I'm gonna usually hand this to the artist. The artist spent some time to make our little structure a little prettier and put some context into it. So we're gonna open up the PSD file she sent to us. We're gonna go open, and there we go. It's called Gluttony. This level asset is actually from our, and attention, shameless self-promotion pontification. It's the Gluttony level. This is what I'm using as the showcase for this tutorial. So we got here your typical PSD file with the layers set up with all nice things happening. You have a front group, a mid, a back, and a background group. This is actually how PolyTie makes use of groups. So each group is later on a sorting layer in the Unity project. So make sure that all the assets you want to have as sprites in Unity are grouped within an according group object, group folder. So also we have like objects that are way bigger than 4096 pixels, but that's no problem for export. It will automatically tile it up to tiles with maximum size of 4096. To export to Unity, you simply go to File, Scripts, PolyTie Unity Exporter. Then you select the path you want to export your level to. In that case, that's under Showcase Assets Levels Gluttony. You hit OK and let the script do the work. This can usually, depending on the size of your level, can take a while. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fast forward the process here on my laptop on this video. So that's it. Our level is now ready to be imported into Unity. So we go back to Unity. Before we start importing, we do a little setup for the sorting layers. We go to Layers, Edit Layers, and have a look at the Unity sorting layers. If we look at our PSD file, we have a front group, a mid group, a back, and the background group. We want to set up the same thing here in Unity as well. So we're going to add a front sorting layer, a mid sorting layer, back, and background. Then we have to reorder them because Unity orders them exactly the opposite way than Photoshop does. So once we're done, we actually don't need really to do this. We could also just assign the sorting layers later on, but this saves us a little bit of time, and I like to do it. You don't have to if you don't like to. So we're now ready to import our level. So we navigate to Assets, Levels, Gluttony, because this is where we exported from the Photoshop script. So we select the Gluttony XML file here, which contains all the meter information necessary to exactly position the sprites as they were positioned in Photoshop. So here are the sprites, and here's the XML file. So I'm going to do a right click on this XML file. I'm going to see the option Import to Scene shows up. So we're going to click on Import to Scene, and hooray, there you go. Levels in there, all lined up. Nothing else to do. Well, I'm lying. There are a few things we have to do. Like for instance, we would have to bring in a character sprite for our character object. Like for instance, we're gonna bring in this lily sprite for our character. Gonna bring it to the mid layer, make it a child of the player character, zero it out, and there we go. And for moving platform, we'll select the lift front and bring it, make it a child of the lift. So we're gonna turn off our debug view and turn off the layout exporter as well. Hit the run button, and there we go, navigating in our game. And we get a first feel of how it looks like later on. It just took us a couple of minutes. So thanks for watching, and have a look at the Getting Started tutorial as well if you're interested.